from the prison to the palace. Let's talk about doing your time. Doing your time. And just doing the will of God. No matter how messed up a situation can be, it's all about doing the right thing. Even if that means losing everything. Even if that means walking away from people and organizations and or places or territories or habits. You know, being in the pit is very challenging. It's very difficult. And I can tell you that I've been in the valleys. I've been in the trenches. And other people have too. And honestly, it's very biblical. You know, when you go through a biblical difficulty, it's a whole different world. You know, we're in this world, but we're not of the world. So it becomes very difficult to blend in with the world and to blend in with what society says. You know, it's just like Joseph from the Bible. You know, he had to go to prison for something he didn't even do. You know, and it kind of feels like a lot of us, we end up going through things that we didn't deserve to go through. But it was, after all, it was not knowing that it was God's plan and it was God's will that we would go through something like that. Something that would be so tormenting and agonizing, you know, and, you know, being a Christian is literally the hardest thing to ever go through, you know, and every dog has his day, you know, and we just gotta pick up our cross and follow him, and knowing that no matter how long it takes, no matter what we go through in this life, we must make some very difficult decisions and very difficult choices. You know, from the pit to the palace. You know, and sometimes you're going through the prison for so long, you wonder to yourself, am I ever going to make it out? Am I ever going to leave this place? Am I ever going to make it to where I was destined to be? I've experienced so many delays and so many setbacks and disappointments and failures and losses and things that would destroy pretty much anybody. You know, I guess you could say that's true grit. Someone who can get hit that hard and that many times for that long and keep going. And to not give up, to not surrender. Even when you felt like it. Even when you felt like your life is falling apart. God always prevails. When life fails, God prevails. And, you know, the walk with Christ is the best life. You know, we got to praise God even in the darkness, even when all hope seems lost, even when we're in a very difficult time in our life, where everything is so uncertain, everything is so shaky, everything is so messed up. Your mess that you're going through becomes your message. So do not despise small beginnings, because we all have to start somewhere. And sometimes, such as myself, I had to start over too many times. And sometimes you wonder to yourself, am I doing something wrong? Sometimes you're not. You're just going through the process of developing your character, developing your faith. And honestly, it's more about who you become during that process is what's actually more important than what God has destined for you to do. Even though what you were destined to do and God's will and God's plan is very important, it's very important. What's actually more important to God is who you become during that process. Isn't that fascinating? If we choose to not allow the corruption of this world to destroy the goodness of our hearts, if we choose to not faint in the battlefield, if we just choose to surrender everything to God and let Him just take the wheel, we will get to our destiny, even if it takes 100 years, even if we never make it. Just die on the road. Do it for the glory of God, and whatever that you do in this life, do it for the glory of God, for the glory of Jesus Christ. Don't do it to glorify yourself, and know that if you do make it and you get to the mountaintop and you have it all, everything you've ever dreamed of, just know that without God you would have never had those things, and God can just take it away from you just like that. So always humble yourself, and don't think you're better than someone else because you have more than them. Well, because you have more success, more money, more awesome things in life, like just a bigger house, a boat, a hot wife, cars, trucks, all the awesome things in life. I mean, that's good. That's just a bonus. That's just a bonus for living a kingdom life. Wealth is stored for the righteous. Even when, God allows the wicked people, the evil people, to have money because it is stored for the righteous. The wealth of the wicked is stored for the righteous. So in the end, it always ends up for something good, to bring honor and glory to Jesus Christ. Money is not evil. It's the love of money. The love of money is what's evil. What's evil about the money is who has the money and what are they going to do with that money, and how did they get that money. That's the root of the evil. It's not money itself. If money was evil, then God wouldn't put gold in the garden with Adam and Eve. That wouldn't make any sense, would it? But just rest assured that your time will come. And when your time comes, be prepared. Be more than ready to take off like a comet, to change the world, to change your family's history. We're in this together. We rise together for the glory of God. That being said, let's go out there and show the world who we are.